Yeah. Definitely not.
It got me back to what the smoke that I was doing. It wasn't a project, it was never that I was talking about. But it's not sustainable. It's not.
My nephew's there.
They don't trust me enough for me to be able to navigate back to where
We stopped seeing.
Yeah.
Sure. Go back there and get the exact same.
Yep. And there's no cartographic tools.
Those are cool.
Yep.
Very,
Sister.
very basic. Not what you want at all.
The GBI down the street.
All righty, I'd like to call the Wednesday, February 16th, 2022 Brimfield Township Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Could please have a roll call?
Bruce Ippenberg,
Here.
Scott Etling,
Here.
Vince Bardacco,
Here.
Ed Shooty, Sean Phillips,
Here.
Glenn Kramer, and Clayton Potter.
Here.
Clayton, you will be a voting member tonight.
Okay.
Also present is Mike Ladd, Economic Development Director and Zoning Inspector, myself, Lauren Kaufman, Zoning Secretary, and Brimfield Township IT Director, Brian Gardner.
Okay, thank you. We do have an agenda. Has everything been properly advertised?
Yes, it has.
I'll make a motion, we accept the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If we could please have a roll call vote?
Bruce Ippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
Clayton Potter.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a real quick note, we'll do the officer for the good of the order, so we're not up front. So we have the swearing in of the applicant. So anyone who will be speaking this morning, if you would please, or this evening, please stand. Okay. It's just a quick swearing in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give before this board is to the best of your knowledge and accurate and truthful presentation of the facts? If so, say it, I do, or yes, and then state your name. Thank you. All right. Okay, we have, I guess, some minutes from, or December, not from January.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept December's minutes. Roll call, please.
Bruce Ippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
And Clayton Potter.
Yes.
Okay, we have one set of minutes from October that at the last meeting, we held off approving the portion of it at the request of the applicant. They want to move it again to the next month. I don't, I mean, it's up to you how you feel about it. they've had a couple months to do what they wanted to do. Of course, they have been kind of hard winter months, so we want to continue that or, we have a spokesman.
I'm actually a resident of One Point.
Okay,
I'm just here, what does this, so we have been talking to him, trying to find a happy compromise.
Right.
Which I feel like we've actually made some ground. What does holding off the minutes from October do?
if we approve the minutes from October because they were already voted in, then the next step would be for the applicant, would be to take it to court.
Okay. That's why they, like I said, if they say we come to a compromise, it's not at the 20 feet, which is what the variance is for.
Right.
They have to file a new variance, or do they file like an amendment to the variance?
Well,
File a new one.
They would just, if they have a, yeah, so if we just approve the minutes as is, they would have two options. One would be to take the original thing to court. The other one would be to come in with a whole new plan that shows some significant change.
That's which the plan is, we have been working
No.
on something.
No, I have a question too. If they make a compromise and they come up with it, that doesn't mean we have to accept it.
Correct.
Correct.
That just means we won't be here.
They just won't be here to complain about it.
Just want to make sure.
No one wants
The 20 feet.
less than, but we're willing to,
They're
we gotta figure this out before it works. You can't fight growth and change.
So.
No, you can't.
Well, we're doing it for years.
You can fight it.
Yeah,
Like, eventually
You
we're
have to
gonna-
continue.
Yeah.
to-
Well, that's it.
That's why we're
The attorney
willing to
gives them
work
more
with
time.
that.
Because well, the ramification of it all. So,
Yeah, our question is just the whole.
Right, in essence.
What's the plan in the minutes to do?
Yeah, well, in essence, we approved all of the minutes except those, that part. All that does is it basically tabled that for future study or future, conversation. If and when the applicant wants to come in. And
That's why I thought they would be here today.
yeah, so, and that's why I bring it up because we thought they might be here today as well, so.
But no, we have been talking to them in good faith, so I'm hoping.
Hoping you reach some kind of agreement.
Is there official time limit we have to be?
No, we just probably should table it at every meeting just so that, it's on the record that we continued it. Actually, a continuance, a table would mean
what's their reasoning for wanting to table it again?
only that they're working with the owners, the owners of the existing.
Yeah, it's just, is it 4 months worth of negotiating?
No, I guess it did take a while, so like we had to meet as a group and re-elect officers and kind of talk about it. But, if they're coming back with something different, why can't we accept the minutes, I guess?
Well, I mean, that would be it. If we accept the minutes the way they were, they would have to reapply with something significantly different, or at least different.
It starts the timeline. From what my understanding is from the time you approve the minutes, then it gives them 30 days to file in the court system.
Right, so they could either file in court or they could reapply with the new plans, right?
Right, so I think they need a little bit more time to work out whatever they're working out with them.
So it would be another fee basically that they would have to pay the township if they have to reapply.
Well, it's easier to work it out here than in court, is what they're.
Right.
I guess my question is what was the gap that was so big that it takes over 4 months to get finished? I mean, I understand that 20 feet was a big deal, but what else?
Well, gathering everybody from the current allotment to get their opinions.
Yeah,
and-
COVID was kind of
Well,
rough, so no one was in a big hurry to have, we actually had our meeting here, but no one was in a big hurry to hang out in someone's house. Okay, that was my question.
That's good.
So as a current resident of the area, are you in favor of holding off on the current? I mean,
As a resident of the area, I'd love to never see another house built over there. They built, there's hundreds of houses that have been built. We've been there for 7 years, and they've probably built 300 houses within a mile.
I feel your pain.
So,
Feels
you live across the street, right?
Sugar Maple, yeah.
Yeah, so you become the cut through in Brimfield.
Yeah, I know that.
so do we continue or do we accept October's minutes as they are?
I have no say in it, and
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue.
Okay, we have a motion to continue. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. A roll call vote, please.
Bruce Ippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Elling,
No.
Vince Bradacco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips,
Yes.
Clayton Poppins.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then the other delayed one will be Jarrett Fleet Services. They still are not ready to give us a height.
Correct.
Again, need a motion to either continue or tell them they can have a 6-foot sign.
I'll move that we continue it.
Okay, we have a motion to continue. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue Jarrett Fleet Services. Roll call vote, please.
All right, Bruce Nippenberg,
Yes.
Scott Elling,
Yes.
Vince Bradacco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips,
No.
Clayton Poppins.
Yes.
Okay. Our next applicant is, hey, right there on top. How about that?
Mhm.
I'm going to tear up this last name, I know. Michael, what?
It's Tataro. or
Tataro? Okay. Michael Totaro.
See it?
So
I
the
have
applicant.
not seen him.
Okay, the applicant, is requesting a 2.5-foot variance for his accessory building, zoning resolution 510.03A1, regulation of an accessory building and structures. It shall not be located closer than 15 feet to any principal building and 5 feet from all other non-inhabited buildings and from side and rear property line. The applicant is present. Oh, yes, sir.
I'm the person that's being affected.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
So you're not the applicant, but you're being affected.
I'm being affected.
Okay. So, as discussed, the shed measures 12 by 16, 192 square feet. It's less than 12 foot in height. Please find attached my request for variance of the north line. I appreciate help and support. Should you have any questions or concerns or require additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me directly if you are here. So, Mr. Ladd, do we have anything from the zoning department on it?
Yeah, so this is actually a complaint. We've sent out a violation letter that they were too close to the property line. As you're aware, we used to have greater distances to the property lines. We did limit those to 5 foot, so it cut down on the amount of variances that came to you guys. This shed does not require a zoning certificate as it's under 200 square foot. However, it still has to be 5 foot from the property lines. And once we received it
from the property or
5 feet.
5 feet? And is this the photo we have there?
That's it, yep.
Okay.
And then they since then had a surveyor out there staked it, and it's 2.5 foot from the property line. So he's going to need a variance for 2.5 foot.
2.5 feet. Okay, yes, sir, you have the floor.
That's not, he said 2.5 foot from the property line. It's not, it's about, it's like, it's less than a foot from the property line. I mean, the stick is sitting right back behind his shed. And you can, I don't know if anybody's been out there since it's been done, the surveyor, it's less than a foot from the property line. And, the point I'm saying is, I'm the next door neighbor. He could have came and talked to me. I understand what's going on, that the back of his property is wet. So he turned the shed and put it against my property. I understand. But the point is, he could have came over and talked to us. He didn't. He just, when me and my wife woke up that morning, that Saturday morning, he had already started drawing lines and getting ready to put the pad down. Didn't come over and say nothing to me. I went outside and I asked him what he was doing. He got smart with me and said, I'm building the shed. And then all his stuff, the truck that was out there, was blocking my driveway. He was putting his tools on my yard. My wife got upset about it. But he didn't care. All he cares about is what he wants. You know, and I wanna say race got anything to do with it. But I just think that me and my wife are older people. And we're black. And he began to make it so bad. He's the president of that association at Chapel Farm. So he knows the rules. But he did it anyway. And what made it so bad, when I first moved there 17 years ago, I used to cut grass. And it was always a stick out there showing the property line between the two houses. He took that stick up so he could always bury where the property line was at. And that's what's been going on. And I'm here just to say what happened. You know, now that he got the shed there, if y'all tell him to move the shed, that means he's gonna tear up my property. So I just wanted to put on record what he done. You know, it was wrong.
So then
As far as making me move it, I'm not for my property being torn up.
so you're not in favor of making him move it? I mean, if we deny his request, he'll have to move it, or
Or take it down.
yeah.
Move it, take it down, so.
So
Well, so my wife, you know, if it was up to me, he would have to move it. But I want to do what my wife wants to do. She don't want our yard tore up again. So I just wanted to put it on record, and I'll leave it alone.
You could put a condition on it that it gets moved as long as they don't access his property at all. You could put that condition on as well.
Or impact the yard.
And then no way he can, I don't know how you would move it without access to my property.
That's gonna be his
Because what
problem.
he has done,
That's his problem.
when he built it, he just basically had drawn lines and took half of my property on the side away from me until they came out there and surveyed. And now the sticks show that most of the property is mine, not his.
Do we have access to that survey?
it was the survey was done by the applicant. Not by.
He's not here, so I mean, that doesn't help either.
Right. I mean,
Well, if he was interested, he would have showed up.
That doesn't say much to me that he's not here to even defend his
right.
application. Is this space between your two houses the only way to get through? He can't get through between the other two houses?
Well,
Yeah, on the other side?
on the other side, it's probably more space he could go through on the other side. On our side of our house, between me and him, he couldn't go through.
So if he wanted to get back there and move it, he can go through the other side, talk to his other neighbors.
Well, he could.
How much of the backyard is wet? Do you know of his? Do
Well,
you have any idea?
The point is, his whole backyard is wet.
Okay.
That's what he's doing. See, mine, it has a slope, so it runs water off. His don't have a slope.
Got it.
His is just completely wet, so he didn't want to stick it in
Where
the backyard.
it's real wet.
Every house that got a shed on in Chapman Farm, they all stood in the back, except for his. He turned his against my property.
Right.
Well, he seems like he's created his own issue here, and it's not something that just causing problems for everybody else but himself.
Well, that's the truth. That's exactly what happened. And, you know, like I say, if he came over and talked to us, because we considered ourselves kind of to be friends. Because I gave, when it was Christmas time, we gave him Christmas presents. And we thought we were friends until he did some junk like this. I don't have no friend that would have done stuff like that and I came over and talked to him.
Right. Okay.
You know, and that's just the way I feel. Because he could have came and talked to me and said, because I understand that the back of his yard is wet. I mean, it's completely wet. When it rains, you see water everywhere. So it probably would have cost him a lot more money to put it in the back. But all he had to do was come talk to us. But he didn't talk to us, he just said, I'm gonna do it. And that's what kind of upset me.
Are there any kind of Anything in, well, not that it matters too much to the board, I was just curious. Your association have any control over it?
Well, he's the president.
I understand.
And I always-
Got it, okay.
I talked to, Miss Spray, that's who I talked to.
Right.
Because, see, what happened was it upset me.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Got it.
What happened is it upset me because they wanted to raise the price of the association fee.
Right.
I've been there 17 years, the only thing I have feel that me and my wife have got is last year they painted a pole and put numbers on our mailbox. Now, I understand they gotta pay taxes and stuff like that, but they keep raising the price, and I don't see nothing like that.
Right. Okay.
Being the president of the association, he surely knows he should have came to see us for a variance before he even put it
Yeah,
down.
but
Coming,
Well, that's what I said.
Coming to us-
he built onto his house in a big thing, I didn't get it.
coming to us after the fact,
That's,
Right.
that doesn't bode well as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we not approve it. Have him move it without affecting any of the adjoining properties.
Did you say that again, Vince? I didn't hear everything.
Okay, the motion is to deny the variance and to instruct the applicant that when he either moves or removes the barn or the shed, that he do so without inflicting damage on the neighbor's property,
Any of the properties surrounding that way. he's
any of the
not
surrounding
that.
property.
Any of the surrounding properties.
Is that about right?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have a second?
It's all you, buddy. I can't.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to deny the variance and instruct the applicant that in removing or moving the shed, he not disturb any of the surrounding properties. Have a roll call vote?
Bruce Nippenberg,
Deny.
Scott Elling,
Abstain.
Vince Bernacco,
Deny.
Sean Phillips,
Deny.
and Clayton Poppett.
Deny.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
That's it. You're more than welcome to stay. Might be something else.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
He's got to figure. He'll ask for forgiveness later, but that doesn't.
Right. Okay, our next application, Steve and Carrie Bauer, 1603 Old Forge Road. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance to place their accessory building on the lot before the principal building is built. Zoning resolution section 51003A, regulations of accessory buildings and structures. All lots shall be permitted a maximum of 2 accessory buildings or structures in association with a principal building. Okay, is the applicant present? All right. If you would like to tell us then exactly why we're putting the cart before the horse.
Well, we have to build them actually kind of together.
Okay,
We brought the property to do just the kind of same thing with all the cars and everything. And then all the houses being built in town, we bought this property to move to get a little more space. But we're trying to kind of put both the cart and the horse there at the same time.
okay.
But the barn will be built faster than the house, and we've got the house plans,
Okay, yeah, we have them.
we've got the loan, we've got all that in place, and just, but the builder that is available to build the barn, his is not busy now. And if we wait, he might be too busy, and we also want to store all of our construction materials and things in the barn while we're waiting on the property doesn't disappear.
So we also got our current house that we're living in. We're gonna move, and I wanna get my stuff out of there, fix the house up, so we put it on the market.
Right.
We're moving into my dad's house for a while.
He looks thrilled.
So we're talking a big barn.
Yeah,
It's a big
it's a big one.
We have trailers and, UTVs,
Okay, so this is what we're looking at when we're done?
Well, it's really simple.
Okay,
Uh,
I don't know if it's gonna be red.
well,
I don't know if it's color matters, but
No.
just the structure.
he likes red. I prefer to.
So this is the
So,
property that was up
mix it
for auction.
together.
Oh, okay.
So they bought the biggest chunk of
38
the
acres.
38 acres. And then, if you look from Old Forge going back, and they came in right away and sat down with me, went through this, you're not gonna be able to see, this is gonna be tucked so far back in.
It's probably, it's 450 feet off the road.
Okay,
And our house is gonna be further on back, it's gonna be like, it's about 600 feet back.
so it'll be in front of the house. I guess that's the next,
That's
that's the next application.
I have my notes for that one too, but.
Okay, nope, that's all right. We do one at a time here.
I'm just gonna show you what the barn looks like.
That'd be great.
I haven't stamped drawing yet, but I will. It's gonna be something like that.
Okay,
We're gonna have just, these are overhangs.
oh, so a single door
Yeah,
and then the overhang, instead of the two doors that are shown in the picture.
yeah, it's gonna be a door across one other side.
Got it, okay.
But I have to get, I guess, a stamped drawing and take it.
Yeah, we can.
We're gonna have all that stuff. with it.
We take anything that looks at least that good.
Oh.
Yeah, we've seen worse.
I mean, I'll have to have an architect put here and stamp and everything. I mean, if that's, it's all, everything's in there, the post.
You can show it to the zoning inspector if he thinks it looks good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good with it. You can enter that if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Take a picture of it and send it to us.
Oh, yeah. we can do that.
No,
No, no.
I already have a copy.
Oh, he already has a copy? Okay.
Does that what happens?
So you have a couple of gas wells or oil wells on the property?
Yes, and we don't get free gas, of course.
Of course.
There's an oil well and then the gas pump that is up the field.
That's one thing I wish they'd go back to is if the property is the property and it's
Right.
oil rights with, all that stuff is over.
Somebody sold the mineral rights before they sold the land.
Yes, but that's great.
Yeah,
Right.
that's-
All right. Okay, so,
You want to see the house?
no, we're gonna vote on this first.
Okay.
we
Well,
want-
that's kind of, this is the,
I mean, the house plans are part of the application. so,
yeah,
yes.
we're gonna see both of the, permits at the same time, I think. If we can.
How far out are they out, the house plan,
Well,
the house building?
we're shooting for like March, middle of March, end of March for the barn, if we can. We're gonna get the topsoil off, get the pad done, and the barn built. And so we get the floorboard, so I can get everything moved out of our house. And then we'll start on it.
Well, no, but he wants to know how long to the house, and we're gonna build it as soon as we can, so
Right.
we're finalizing the plans, we have the loan in place, and you have the builder, go and talk to the builder, so it's just kind of a matter of getting everything, all the ducks in a row, and I'm hoping to be in there by fall.
In the
Oh,
house?
yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Where are we relying on selling your current house to build the new one? No, okay. I mean, not that you probably have any issue selling the new
I
one.
don't have no issues.
Right.
You probably already have it sold, huh?
Well, there probably people will wait. So,
Right, no, no, I understand that.
But they want to move all their stuff to my house, and my house ain't that big.
Oh, we have to
It's
ask.
easier just to burn it all down and start over again. It really is.
That happened in my house.
No.
We just,
That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
yeah, we just don't want a barn sitting there and then no house, so.
no, he never starts anything he doesn't finish.
Okay.
He's my energy, but he never stops.
Okay, now, is there already a building on the property?
Yes, there is. There's a
Okay.
4-car garage was existing on the property,
Okay,
and it's in front of everything else.
so it's already
We're
there.
gonna build, yeah.
Okay,
You gonna leave it there? or-
Oh, well, leave it there.
that's this white building,
Yes.
that's picture, okay.
I'm gonna put roof inside
We're putting a new roof on it
and maybe siding, but.
later down the road.
Right, try to make it look a little bit like the house.
Right, yeah, look, I didn't know if you had
Yeah, see, you can paint that one green for her, and then yours could be red, see?
And then it'll look like Christmas. Because the house is gonna be green.
Oh, there we go. Gonna get the greenhouse.
He wants a red barn.
Okay. Is there anybody wishing to complain about the idea? Just checking. Do we have any other questions from the board or concerns? Is this gonna, this way apparently will have power to it eventually?
Yes, we're working on that power estimate right now, and maybe I can ask this question here, but they said we have a water main on the other side of Old Forge. Anybody knows that?
We know it's in Beechcrest. I can tell you that.
Well, we were told it's across the street from Park 1603. I said, well, water people, water.
Aqua.
They said, there's a main there, and I said, well, if there's a main there, why isn't there fire hydrants?
We don't have any access to that. After 9/11, they don't give us the water.
Okay, so we already got our application in for water, and we already got that, and there's, will be power in the barn. And, got Ohio Edison working on the transformer stuff to get it back to the house. And also the gas company we talked to today, they're gonna come out and extend the gas main to the property.
Oh, nice.
So,
So now, does the existing building have power yet, or?
well, what it is, the people to the west side of the property,
Okay,
their farmhouse is supplying electric to the building.
okay,
And eventually that will be cut off and tied into my system. They were, I just met them, they were nice, because I'll turn the power back on for you. I said, you don't have to, but
Right.
that's nice if you can,
sure,
but, so they got a security light, you know, all that stuff out there, so. They were nice enough to turn it back on, so, well, we're working with them, and they're gonna use part of our driveway, so
okay.
we don't have a problem with that, so.
So that's the other question I would have as far as lighting on the building. Did you have power that'll be lighting, I'm assuming?
There will be a light just by the man door
Okay,
and inside house.
but it's well off the roads. We don't need to worry about light out on the street affecting the road and so forth. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or concerns? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve it, and I maybe stipulate that the house will be under construction no later than, I'm just gonna say August, just to give you a deadline. I'm just saying that just,
I don't wanna, yeah.
That's acceptable to you then?
Yes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to allow the building to be built, or the building to be built, the outbuilding to be constructed prior to the construction of the house, with the caveat that the house begin construction by August.
Can we mess up that construction, like walls or clearing?
Foundation.
Foundation.
Just started.
Footer
I mean,
foundation.
Put a couple stakes in the ground.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
We've already staked it out.
Footers and foundation.
Foundation.
yeah, I mean, that's all I would.
Okay.
Yeah, just so we know
just
it's,
to
It's
protect
already
everybody.
staked out, and
yeah,
I talked to you about the driveway, we've got a horseshoe driveway started, so.
I mean, just so that we know the construction started going on, and, I mean, if not, it would become a violation and so forth, so. Okay, have a roll call vote, please.
Bruce Ginsburg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bernacco.
Yes,
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
And Clayton Profit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the next one, same Steve and Terry Bauer, 1603 Old Forge Road in Kent. Variance request. Applicant is requesting a variance to place their accessory building in the front area of the lot. Zoning resolution section 5103A4 regulations for accessory buildings and structures that shall not be located in the front yard. Okay, I think you've kind of explained
Yeah.
somewhat of it, but,
So we want to put the barn between the oil well that exists on the property and the house in the back, and then preserve, if we put the barn behind or beside the house, then we lose a lot of the farmland that's there, and it currently has a CAUV or CAV,
We're gonna try to keep it
which we
farm.
want to keep.
okay, you're gonna try to
And so
continue
we
the
need to
farm.
maintain that 10 acres of
Farm.
farmland. So that's,
That's the whole purpose. I don't want to see a lot. That's why we're getting out of our old house, just traffic
and
So you're gonna continue to farm it, or is it being rented out?
we're gonna, hopefully, the farmer's gonna do it for this first year, and maybe I can do it after that.
Got it.
or we'll continue with him if he wants.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna continue to be farmed.
It was a bean field, and we're just taking a little portion of it, and hopefully we can still, want to still put crops in there.
But it was a choice between putting the house next to the oil well or the barn. So the barn and the house backwards, the back of the property.
So a practical difficulty, which is what we're looking for with a variance,
Right.
would be the fact that we are trying to hide the oil field, or the oil,
That's, yeah.
And maintain, you want to maintain the
and,
farmland.
and maintain
But
the
I
farm.
could go
and
track
maintain the
entries
farmland,
by the
right.
oil well, yeah. We want to keep
So-
the farmland as much intact as we can.
And it's not going to affect the neighbors, it's not going to affect anybody surrounding you, so,
Because we have.
and the neighbors aren't here to complain, so we'll have to assume that if they didn't send a letter, that they're in agreement. Okay. Do we have any other questions or concerns from the board? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we grant the ability to put the building in the front property so that they can obscure or hide the well that's there and maintain the farmland.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Bruce Steffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Elling.
Yes.
Vince Vidaco,
Yes,
Sean Phillips,
Yes.
and Clayton Popper.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're all done. You're more than welcome to stay,
Thank you.
or you can leave if you wish.
good luck.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next applicant, Brian Holmes. Joe Vivanda, Brian Holmes, 6770 West Snowville Drive in Brecksville, Ohio. Variance request applicant is requesting a variance for a sign face greater than 32 square feet. Okay. Zoning resolution, section 713, C3, sign face shall not exceed 32 square feet. Okay. Is the applicant here?
I'm here.
You're here.
Joe. My name is Susie Rose. and
Okay.
I work with Brian Holmes as well. So I'm the
Thank you.
Yes. And thanks for having me. And I actually was a sales rep at Cranberry Creek, so familiar with Brimfield. I'm in a new position now. So we're doing new models, and we have an upcoming community off of Malloy, which is Hickory Creek. So, everything.
Okay.
He's probably saying, "Did you get it?"
Just checking in.
There you go. So our marketing department, of course, over the years and through corporate, has come up with different signage that from corporate level that we prefer. We do have, our preference is an 8-foot by 4-foot sign, 8-foot in height, 4-foot in width. And so the face of the sign actually is at 32, but with the posts, the all-inclusive, so you do have the rendering of our sign correct. So I think the variance is, we're right at the 32 square feet, and we have to set the variance which is in regards to the height as well.
So it's two-sided,
Yes,
so that would be 64.
okay.
So you would need at least a 32-foot, square foot variance,
Okay.
since you have both sides.
Okay.
Okay. This is a temporary sign?
It is, it would stay up during the time the community is selling. So we anticipate it might be a 2-year commitment, or perhaps a little less.
I'm just asking, because I've seen some of these up for like 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, they never go away.
They never go away. They're
They
still-
never go
Once the
away.
community sells out, we do remove.
Well, we have some communities that still have open parcels 10, 15 years later, and they're still signs
Yeah,
up. So that's why I'm asking. It just, I don't want to put if it's going up temporary, I would want to put a stipulation in there that can only be up for so long, because the homeowners don't want to see it sitting there.
Well, that and all the little signs that are all over the town. So they just never go away.
So we have to put some stipulation in there if it's going to only be there for a little bit.
Gotcha. Our first phase of that development is 61 sites. And so it is a 2-phase community.
Okay.
That comes after that.
So is this lit at all, or is it strictly daytime sign?
No, it's just a strict daytime sign.
Okay, so no lighting,
No lighting.
and it will be located well off the road right away so as to not interfere with traffic?
Yes. There's an attachment map I think you have showing.
Okay.
The desired location for it,
Is that the red X or the blue dot?
the red X,
Okay,
and then our model home would be.
the blue dot. Okay. So nothing will be out on those lots then, those first two, that's just open frontage between the first, from the, like say, between the model home and the street, and where the sign is now, when the sign's gone, there'll be nothing there. Okay.
Development landscape, if anything.
Okay,
That's from the high level.
to be maintained by the homeowners association,
You
sure.
got it.
That's what happens.
Okay, so just a plain big old blue sign. Okay, do we have any other questions or concerns? We would like a stipulation. What would be something you could agree to?
On a timeframe,
When it would, yeah, on a timeframe.
I think that we could say 2.5 years or 2 years and, come back if we needed to.
Okay, okay, do we have any other questions or
I
concerns?
think there's a stipulation in the book that the signs are allowed to stay as long as the development is going on. And that's why you see them sitting there forever. But you can certainly put that condition on since you're granting a variance for the sign being bigger.
Great, okay. Do you have any other questions or concerns about the size of the sign? We would need, I guess with the posts, what, 33 or 34 square foot variance, something like that? If we're putting the posts in as well. But this is pretty similar to the signage that you have most of your developments, correct? Okay, do we have a motion?
Please. Okay, I'm gonna make the motion that we approve it with the stipulation that after 2 years, the sign is removed or you come back and request another variance.
Okay, we have a motion to allow for a variance as described, a 4 by 8 foot sign, two-sided with post holding it up with a 2-year stipulation. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We could please have a roll call vote.
Bruce Griswold,
Yes.
Scott Etling,
No.
Vince Bardacco,
Yes,
Sean Phillips,
Yes.
and Clayton Patrick.
Yes.
Okay. You have that early. The next one, Ryan Holmes. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance for a sign height greater than 6 feet. Zoning resolution section 713C3, overall height shall be no greater than 6 foot.
Same drawing, same rendering for you there. The physical sign that you see is 95 inches with posts.
But we need this much visibility for,
You know, again, I would say on our corporate side, this is what we moved to. Our current communities are installing these types of signs. What we have found is, you know, it's readable, large enough to be readable. Most of our communities are within a busy area, so that it's a directional without being a nuisance. For people having to concentrate too much, seeing what they're doing. So it's the name recognition, mostly, our Ryan Holmes logo is fairly small in comparison then to the community name.
okay, and then,
So for us, it's really just directing people to the model site.
But especially that when it's on a main road where there's only 2 directions to go and there's a neighborhood, well, there's houses across the street. So that's a pretty big sign for somebody to be staring at all the time. That's my only concern.
okay, do we have any other concerns? More questions? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion. I guess if it's not 8 foot high, it would be 6 foot high and a little wider. Since we've already approved the area variance of the size of it. Anyone?
We approved the face of it. I mean,
yeah,
it'll have the same, even for the height variance, it'll have the same stipulation. After 2 years, we're gonna revisit it and determine how the neighborhood's progressing and is that still needed.
Right.
So.
I didn't ask you that before, I guess maybe I should have. Where is the 8 foot? Is it here or here?
To the top.
To here? Okay. So it's actually not even gonna be quite 32 square feet with this cutoff, okay. All right,
But the sign itself is 8 feet with another 20 inches to the ground,
right.
potentially almost 10 feet high. So what height are the rest of these around town? Does anybody know?
I think the ones that are currently in Brimfield are the same sign, correct?
The one that we have at Cranberry Creek is actually a reverse of this in that it is 8 foot wide, 4 foot high. So it's short and squat.
Okay.
So it's wide and short. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had a rendering initially and I did not bring it with me. But as you, it's off of Sandy Lake Road, the upper entrance there.
So why the change to the tall instead of the short and squat?
Again, just from a corporate marketing standpoint, the vertical signs are desirable.
And I would think it would block less of the view if you're pulling out of the street from the model home or whatever. I mean, I understand it's off the road right away, but it is still out in front of the model home. So if you have it squat, low, low and wide.
There's nothing around there though right now. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
no, I
nothing.
understand that, but, I mean, you're still pulling out onto a road and you still need to see around the sign. That's the only
Yeah.
advantage I could see to it being horizontal rather than vertical. It's this little red dot,
The little red starburst, that's our technical word for it. So the starburst does, will change messages. In the beginning of the community, it starts out as one VIP list.
Got it,
After that, it becomes a grand opening.
got it.
So,
So that makes up for this void area up here, I take it.
there you go. Yeah, right.
So yeah, even with these little starbursts, it still has to be,
Yeah.
got it.
This won't be placed right on the road, will it? It's gonna be set back.
Yes.
Outside the right of way. I'm torn on the height.
That's where I'm stuck.
That's where I'm stuck. It just seems very tall to me. I mean, I know from a marketing standpoint, the short and squatty sign was not the best choice, but I don't know, that just seems very high to me, almost 10 feet. I know it's out of the right of way and not gonna be in anybody's way either side, but still trying to get away from tall pole type signs
Yeah.
in the
You
township.
can move to deny it. And they'll have a 32 square foot sign, well, 64 square foot sign that they have to come up with something under 6 feet.
So whatever we come up with, possibly be able to work with us and come up with something in different variation of what you have here. Yeah. Okay. So what's the process? Deny with the
Vote to
stipulation
deny.
or?
Well, we can vote to deny and then they can build anything that's 6 foot high because that's what the book allows.
Yeah.
And it can be as wide enough to make it 64 square feet both sides. It's a two-sided sign, 32 square feet on each side. So they take their 8x4, their original sign, put it on its side, put it 2 feet off the ground, and they have that instead of the,
Instead of having a real.
Well, we approved a size variance, so it is larger than normal, so.
well, it's 32, it's an 4x8 with the addition of the mounting brackets, but that's on each side, that's why we give them,
Right.
because it's the 32 square feet would be on,
Actual space, it only takes up the 4x8.
yeah.
It would be, again, I'm sorry that I'm putting the picture, but it would be exactly what we do have at Cranberry Creek, which is exactly the vertical line.
Instead of the horizontal side.
Sure. I'm gonna make a motion to deny.
Okay, we have a motion to deny the variance. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to deny the variance for the height of the sign. Could have a roll call vote?
Bruce Nipperwood,
No?
Scott Allen,
No.
Vince Bardacco,
No,
Sean Phillips,
No.
and Clayton Poppett.
Okay. Way it the other way.
All right, no.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, appreciate your time.
good luck.
Okay. Our next variance application is Andrew Beal. Applicant is requesting a variance for a 6-foot privacy fence in the front yard area of his home. Zoning resolution, section 510-06G1, fences. Walls, hedges, no fences. Walls, hedges, or berms, or any combination shall exceed 4 feet, 6 inches in height above the finished grade of the front yard. It's the applicant here. Yes, sir.
Yep, so, little backstory about the house in closed on the middle of October. Thought I did my research right, obviously I did. Put the fence up, we were moving, we had 2 dogs, we have a pit bull and a German shepherd. My immediate instinct is, a 6-foot fence. My dogs would probably clear 4 foot 6 inch fence, pretty easily. Especially in the front yard, just due to the grade of the front yard, it slopes down towards the road. So needed something to put up quick before we moved in to be able to house them. It makes it easier for my wife, she works from home, to be able to throw them outside if anybody should come to the door. This is not the main entrance, the main entrance is on the side of the house. The reason for the fence is obviously just to protect my animals, and the privacy portion of it will be the second variance there, obviously, just to keep them quiet if anybody should be walking down the road or anything from that nature. Yeah, so the biggest portion is just trying to protect my animals and all. I did end up finally putting in the invisible fence, which they do command to very well, but the front yard has always been an area where it just concerns me. I don't like leads or obviously chains, because chains are too heavy in my opinion. My German Shepherd has broken 6 leads at our old house. Actually climbed in a truck with the FedEx driver, so trying to prevent that. She is very friendly, but we are on obviously a main road. We're in that passing zone area. So, obviously I do apologize for, not following the proper protocol with the fence to begin with. That's my poor investigation on what I actually needed to do. But I did throw in some specs as far as, the layout where we are off the road. We're 60 feet off the road. Fence is 24 by 28.
So how far does that put the fence off the road?
36 feet.
Okay.
And the gate opens inward, so the dogs can't push it out for that matter as well.
And the reason it's not in the backyard?
There's only the 2 areas that enter and exit the house. I have to put in another entrance.
Okay, so there's no door in the back.
Yeah, there's no door on the back, or else that would be, obviously, we need to just move it to the back. And don't have that right now, obviously. And this was the easiest option because it's not the main entrance.
To the side entrance, I take it then?
Yeah, the driveway comes up, and
Near
then
the
the sidewalk leads right to the side entrance.
And then how close is the nearest neighbor?
Everybody kind of sits way back off the road. Because the ones right next to me, they're almost near the back of my property. If you're looking to the, let's say east of me or west of me, they are really set far back. They're waiting behind my property. That driveway goes back. And then the next ones are probably to the west is 300 feet off the road or something like that. If I had to guess, just guessing.
This is your house right here? This one?
Yes, this is.
What's that covered area in the back? Is that a garage?
Covered area in the back.
There's a little covered area right here.
No, that's part of the house. That's the kitchen area in the house.
Oh, okay.
Is there a door there?
There's so the front section of the house that we enter in, the main entrance. There's 2 doors on the sides that lead into the one room and the kitchen, and then the main entrance way. Why it's set up that way, I don't know. But there's no real good way to section that off. It's all in one little, under that covered section.
Did this come to our attention because of a complaint, Mike?
Yes. They're actually from a trustee.
And I have to say, I mean, from the reason we have the stipulation in place is to avoid this. I mean, I know you said you didn't know before you put it up, but it cordons off the whole front yard. I mean, that's why it's in place. It doesn't look good. Sorry to say, it just looks bad.
I don't understand that, but that's, your personal opinion.
Well, it's everyone who ever worked on not the law, the
Zoning?
zoning in the first place agreed that, I mean, because if everybody did this, it would just, I don't know, it would just look bad. And you have to realize that once we set a precedent that it's okay to do this in the front yard, then anybody that comes after you can do the same. And they have legal precedent to say, well, you already proved that guy, so. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if it's, I understand what you're saying, but the variance is on a case-by-case basis, right? So the precedents really, I don't know. This is my first time ever owning a house, so, whatever you guys come up with, that's, it's wholeheartedly your decision. So, I know I didn't follow proper protocol, so it is what it is. I completely understand.
So how deep is the lot?
It's a total of 18.34 acres.
Okay.
Everything sits up at the front except for, everything's pretty much up at the front except for this one little building, which is there's a fenced in area, pasture up there that the previous owner must have had horses in, just a little one under. But most of the property up here most of the buildings are on the upper portion of the property, but it goes back quite a ways. There is,
Okay, so then on our drawing here, this is the house.
The house is
This sort of L shape.
this building.
Okay, so
That's the house, this would be the.
this is the front door,
Yeah.
and this is what you use to get in
Yes,
and out of the
so
house.
there's the one door that leads into the kitchen this way, the other one leads into this office area, and we have the main door that leads into the house.
Right. And then the driveway is,
This is the driveway over here, then there's a sidewalk right here.
Where's the street?
The street
Street's
here.
And so you have it here, and this is a way in also?
Yeah, this is the main entrance, so we have the driveway here, parking area here, and then the sidewalk.
So why couldn't you put a fence here with a gate around the back? somewhere.
I understand what you're saying, but then I have to leave the animals outside. This is easier to just open the door, shut them out, kind of thing.
Well, I guess I misunderstood when you were saying at the beginning, you only had one door to stick them out the front, but you do have a door on the side of the house. It's just, you're saying it's not convenient for you, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's the main entrance.
Yeah.
So we do, if anybody comes to the door, we like to throw the dogs outside. Our pit bull is very protective, so we just don't like to take that chance or opportunity with people coming in and out. There's no doors on the inside between any of the lower level rooms.
Well, that's what he said. So this front door here, side door, this is the one that they use to go in and out of the house. They never use the front door. So then the driveway is, you can't see it in this photo.
That's why I was.
But he doesn't want to block, he doesn't want to put a gate there on the fence to go in, have people enter his guests come in the front door kind of thing. So,
That's more of an inconvenience
right,
on your end, but not a hardship.
nor, yes, not a hardship. And we have any additional questions? All right, do we have a motion? My biggest objection to it is the fact that you're you're well into the front yard with it. And it wouldn't even, if it were actually part of the house, it would not fit the setbacks to the area. I mean, there's like a 50-foot setback off the road.
Okay. Understood.
And so with the fence sticking out that far, I would almost declare that it's part of the house because it's attached. But, in my mind, you'd almost need a variance for that, but obviously not the zoning inspectors.
Yeah, because we just don't permit this in the front.
Right. I mean, like if it were a porch, and you wanted to stick it out that far, you would need a variance for it.
Yeah, so it's not considered part, it's
Sure.
not considered part of the structure.
Yeah, fences are considered part of the house.
Right, I understand. I just said in my mind, especially a privacy fence. Yeah.
I mean, if it helps, we can put a stipulation on it that when, I don't plan on having any more dogs after this. Once they both pass, I'll take the fence down, if that helps my case at all. I don't have a problem with that either.
I guess it depends, how old are the dogs?
Well, the German Shepherd, she's 4.
Okay.
The pit bull, we're not exactly sure. He was just dropped off at our old house, and
Got it.
we took him in and got him back to health, so.
It could be up to
Is-
15 years.
Is the variance for a 4'6" fence rather than a 6-foot fence, or the fence altogether?
You're allowed a fence in the front yard.
4'6", so the variance
4'6", so.
is 1.5 feet.
Yeah, he could actually cut it down.
He'd have to cut it down.
6 and have it in the front, but then the next variance he has after this is the opacity. It's gotta be 50%.
Gotta be able to see through it.
You gotta be able to see through it. And that's more of like a policing issue and a safety issue for the front yard.
Right.
So since it's already wood, you'd have to cut it down, but with the opacity, you'd have to take it down completely.
Or take out every other slat.
Take out every other board.
Take out
cut it
every
down
other
to
board.
4'6" is within that.
Of course, that wouldn't keep the dogs in probably.
Not at all.
That's it.
Did you say you had an invisible fence also put in?
Yes, it's in the backyard.
Okay.
They do command to it, but, you know, it's nice to have that area at night. You just open up the door, throw them outside. You don't have to worry about them getting into anything or going anywhere or running clear to the back. Obviously, we're in an area where you have wild animals.
Just curious if you put the invisible fence in the front and then you cut this down to 4'6" and then had the 50% opacity, it might work.
The only problem with, I would say with the invisible fence though, with the slope, depending on how they're standing, it does affect the strength of whether the collar's not working on it.
I see.
I just don't see how you make this work.
Well, that's the problem.
I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You're either gonna have to take the slats down and cut it down, or you're gonna have to tear the fence down and redo it, someplace in the back. So it's, I mean, it's kind of that, to me, that's honestly all the options we have.
And the 4-6 doesn't work because your dogs will jump it.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's not gonna work for you anyway. I think, I agree, we're an impasse of any solution.
Is there a way of putting the fence off the side, like coming off the front, build something in the front, off to the side, like off the house, off the porch, and then come off the side of the house?
You mean like close in the porch and then?
Yeah, because the 6-foot-high fence, as long as you're at the front of your house and then going outward, it would work.
Headed towards the back.
Yeah, if he's coming off this side here, coming
Yeah.
this way, it would work, as long as he had a way, like something on a porch you have to build.
Primary area that the dogs are in the backyard or the side of the house. That would be better than enclosing the whole front of the
Well,
house.
side of the
Yeah,
house,
almost
we don't
like
have to worry
a
about.
patio enclosure
Yeah.
in front, and then
You're-
open the door to the side, right to the.
I mean, your porch goes all the way to the edge of the house, right? On that.
No, it doesn't. There's like I would say probably a 4 or 6 foot section that there's
Yeah.
no porch.
But if you could extend that, and then even if you wanted to,
Or even steps down, you know.
Yes, yeah.
yeah, or even step down, but then again, you're talking about leading them, but if you even wanted to do something there from the door over where it was enclosed, and they just had to run over and.
You wouldn't need a variance,
Then
yeah.
they would be in the fenced-in area. I mean, the porch is already there, and you don't use it for anything else. I mean, and the fence is gonna block your view from the porch. It's not like you're gonna go sit out on the porch anyway, other than to see the dogs.
You could actually have a bigger run with them if you wanted, you know, because you could go as far, all the way to the property line.
Yeah, this way.
This way, yeah, off the house.
You'd have to rework the fence, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So how much room do you have on the side of the house?
It depends on what I mean, going towards the driveway, I have, room. I have room on the other side going towards, there's
Your driveway.
78 feet going to the east.
Yeah, I mean, well, you don't block the driveway. That's.
So your driveway's over here, right, on this side? Is that where you're showing? Driveway's over on this side?
Driveway's over here.
Okay, but where's your door to get into the house? Over here?
So our main entrance is right here.
Oh, in the back?
Yeah. where the kitchen is.
So you walk around the back of the house to get in, is that what? I'm
No,
confused.
well, they walk.
It's on the side.
Right.
So you'd have to put
But
a
it's
gate
not
on
the
it.
side that you
Yeah.
see in this picture.
Either that, or you,
All right,
or you just
so right
end
now.
the
if
fence
you
at the
forget
back of
that
the
picture
house.
and go to
Yeah, just stop it at the back of the house. And the dogs get up the
This is
whole
the
side of the
house.
house.
This
mean,
is
it's
the
just as
front
much room
porch.
as you have right here.
Yeah.
This is that
You just
kitchen
flip it.
area.
This right
Yeah,
Not-
so there's a door
Like your
here
door's
and a
here,
door
what we're
here
talking about here, Mike, tell me if I'm.
on the,
Well, your
on the
door's here,
picture.
so we're saying you close the fence basically
Well,
this
the door is
around,
like,
obviously back here, saying your
the
fence will come
doorway,
all the way
there's
on
a
this side of
doorway
the house. So
here,
you- That way
and
you're
a
using
doorway
this door, but this side of the house is still open.
and then
Right,
this is
and you
the
could end the
front
fence
with the
this
door
way.
here.
In this plane,
So-
this
There's
way.
a door here.
That way
and
you
there's
still
a
leave
door
the
on this
entrance
side of
here.
the back
So you
side of the
come
house,
out like this.
And
according to the
so
picture.
he's got 78 feet.
So you
If he
basically
just
like
did a
this.
run on the front porch.
Yeah.
He could put the
And
fence
then you
over
still
here
have
without
entrance,
any problem.
this isn't blocked here. And then you don't need a variance for 6 foot here. This is side. So this is the front of your house right here. So
So
you're
it's
coming off,
the front of the porch.
yeah, but you just have to block something. You'd have to be a little bit, yeah, like a,
So when you open the door, they don't go this way, they go that way.
Go to the-
but that way you could reuse your fence. You're not buying new fencing. You could just
Move it.
redo it this way.
So is
I
there
mean,
an
you have-
issue with me closing the porch?
No,
Not necessarily. I mean, you would, maybe if you wanted to put something there so that you could just open the door and let them go, then you would have to do
you
something with
could,
the
I mean,
door.
people do patio enclosures all the time and you can close the porch.
Yeah, but do I need anything for that?
$50 permit.
There's no issue with a 6-foot fence being still in the front of his house or.
No, that's side. So that's
That's the
considered
side.
side.
Okay.
It would be on the side of the house.
That's, you don't need a
Any-
variance at all. It'd be,
And he has like 78 feet between the house and the property line.
you need a permit for the enclosure of the front, and then you need a permit for the fence, which is 50, but so it'd be $100
But you could go that way on the side of your house as far as you
without
wanted
an
to.
issue and leave it forever.
You did, dogs would actually have a bigger run, or bigger place.
And then, like I'm saying, you're not throwing your fence out, you're just redoing it, which is a little bit of labor, but.
You can cement those poles in, did you?
Takes the right,
I was gonna say, if you cemented them in, that's a lot of labor, but
It's a lot of labor that way,
yeah, that would work.
Cut them off to the ground.
Yeah, cut them off.
Got the chainsaw.
That defeats the purpose of a 6-foot fence.
Yeah.
Well, no, then you put those stakes in the ground that the 4x4 sits into
Yeah,
the top of the stake.
I mean, will that work for you? I know it's
It's
not what
gonna
you have
be-
now, but
It's gonna be labor.
it's a happy medium between what we have to do and what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, my only problem with that is now I'm closing in my front porch.
yeah.
I mean, the way the yard slopes down now, I can see over top of everything, even if I'm sitting down.
Mhm. We could do half. Go to that first pole, that first post, and then it leaves half of it. We could close half and leave half.
I mean, I'd be okay with that, moving it back and then shooting it over if that's.
It just can't be in front of the porch is what we're saying. It can come off the side of the porch, which is considered the front of the house, because it's attached to the house. So
I mean, you don't have to close it all, you just have to walk the dog down to the fence.
So
and
either walk them down or, I mean, you could just put something up there that they,
Could
If-
go.
you could put your chain link, you could put more posts up so that they can't get into the front yard off the porch. I mean, it doesn't have to be a wall. It could be a glass wall, so you can still see through it.
That's true.
Screen. Well,
Oh, they go.
yeah, they go through the screen.
They
My
go
dog
through-
goes through the
I
screen.
thought
They go
asked-
through the
Yeah.
screen, but a
Yeah.
couple of.
But is there like a patio enclosure thing? right?
Yeah, you could frame it up and put in a couple of sliding glass doors that they wouldn't be able to go through.
It's true.
It's free architecture advice brought to you by. See, basically like that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, I guess we're not gonna agree, but that's just what it is.
Well, we don't have a choice because we have to, basically we have to uphold the code. I mean, we just can't overlook it. So that's the problem we're having.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's
We'd
not
like to
something,
help you, but that to me is the best solution is.
I mean, you have enough property.
I mean, if that's
Yeah, I
what
mean,
I need to do, that's what I need. to
Yeah,
do.
you have the
That's
property
what
to do
is.
it. It's not like there's a row of trees along the house, so it's impractical. It's not like your leach field surrounds your house, so that's the only place you can put it. Those kind of things, which would at least point in the direction of some practical
It's a
difficulty
hardship type
or some
thing.
hardship. So the only hardship is that you're gonna have to move the fence that's there now. So,
Understood.
okay, we still need a motion.
But would it be something that I could wait till it's not winter?
We can put a time, well, no, we're not doing anything with it. We're not putting a motion for that.
We're just gonna deny or.
Yeah,
No,
right.
so this would be part of his violation, so we could start, all I have in the code is 30 days to give you, so you came for the variance after this, 30 days would start after this. You can request a 30-day extension when that's getting close, put it in writing, send it to me, and then I could grant that. And that at least gives you 2 months.
And then once you get started.
Once you get started and you pull permits, then
Once
it's done,
obvious
then you
that you're
got
starting it.
1 year to finish that.
So you could put up the enclosure on the front. And that's kind of like you're already
I mean,
started.
that pretty much stops it. If you come in and pull permits with a different design off the front, going off the side like we discussed, and you pull permits, you have 1 year to complete that.
Yeah, so you would
So
need to.
that gives you plenty of time.
So just one other question, as far as the porch goes, what all do I need permits for from that standpoint? If I'm, like, is it a visibility standpoint after like a certain visibility?
No, you're just gonna tell me you're doing a porch renovation.
Okay, just basic porch renovation.
Yeah,
You need
and
permit
then
for
a
that.
fence permit, that's it.
All right.
And just the easiest thing is just pull those permits as soon as you can. Is that
I
what
mean,
you're
you'd
doing?
wanna meet building code, You wanna, obviously, if the building department comes by, you wanna hit any kind of building issue, but, so it's gotta be built to code.
But in the meantime, you would just have the inconvenience of having to leash them to this, across the porch. I mean, so you could do the whole fence and then worry about the porch.
Just, only because we've seen this before, stay on it, don't just blow it off and then, because next time we won't be able to help you, so.
Well, what about the side of the house? Is it acceptable to have a privacy fence there, or?
6 foot.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, up to 6 feet.
Yes, I mean, the opacity thing.
No, don't have to worry about it.
Just so long as you're coming off that porch off the side and it's not in front, you're good.
So it said the reason behind the opacity is that some, allow
It's
for
like a
safety
safety
issue. Somebody's driving by your house, they can't see up toward your house if there's a fire going on or whatever. They could report it, otherwise, or even police going by, whatever, they see something going on. They're not gonna see anything going on because you block the view to your porch. And not that it applies here, but the other issue is your neighbor's pulling out of their driveway. I mean, in your case, it doesn't apply, but if you're like in Chapman or whatever, you got a 6-foot privacy fence along your house, up into your front yard, nobody can pull out on the street because of the fence. So. Okay, we still need a motion then.
I make a motion that we deny the fence, it'd be the variance for the fence in the front yard. The 6-foot tall fence in the.
Well,
6
you're gonna deny the 6-foot, the
Yeah.
foot and a half
2.
variance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I make a motion that we deny the variance.
Okay, deny the variance.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Wickenberg,
Deny.
Scott Etling,
Deny.
Vince Bardacco,
deny.
Sean Phillips,
Deny.
and Clayton Potter.
Okay, then the second part of the variance, or a second variance request. Applicant is requesting a variance for a fence in the front yard area with less than 50% opacity. Zoning resolution section 51006, fences, walls, hedges. Fences shall be of decorative design to include chain link, but to exclude barbed wire, chicken wire, and similar type fences, and shall be designed to have an opacity of 50% or more.
Oh, we already denied it.
We denied the height, but we still have to act on this
I'll make a
one.
motion that we deny the.
Opacity variance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to deny the 50% opacity, whatever, variance. Roll call, please.
Bruce Knippenberg.
Deny.
Scott Etling.
Deny.
Vince Bernacco.
Deny.
Sean Phillips.
Deny.
Clayton Pappas.
Thank you. You're more than welcome to stay, or,
Nobody ever takes you up on that, you know that?
I know, they just up and go. Somebody's
Got
still
nothing to do
here.
tonight, huh?
Yeah, well,
He's filling out his blog on the township. Okay, and last but not least, zoning conditional use application. And I'm gonna mess this one up too, even though you've been here before. Joe Scasio?
That's not me, but very good.
Very good. 711 North Portage Path, Akron, Ohio. Looking for a conditional use request. Applicant is coming back before the board for a conditional use reapproval after previous permit expired. Zoning resolution section 309.02 regarding mini and self-storage facilities, subject to provision of chapter 4 in section 400.10.b, subsection 52. Okay, well, re-explain our mini storage place, and where's it going?
Good evening, Mike Wolf from Wolf Engineering. We originally were in front of this board, I don't remember if we were in person or Zoom at that time, but back in July, about a year and a half ago. We all know what the last year and a half has been like with cost of construction materials and that sort of thing. So that's delayed the project. In addition to that, I guess I'll get back for a second. So it's the same basic plan that we saw a year and a half ago. Some minor tweaks to some driveway widths and that sort of thing to satisfy the fire department. But still the same amount of buildings, in the same very close location where they were originally. So we're not asking for any changes to what was originally approved. In the last year and a half, we've worked through all the site improvement drawings, got approval from all the Portage County soil and water groups. We've worked with the fire department on all the fire truck access, on fire ponds to satisfy all the fire suppression needs for the site. Architects have been working through building plans. They're close to getting final building permits on that now. We had to go down to the state to get a variance to not have restrooms on the facility, so that took 6 months. So we've been working on the project, and now that lumber prices are starting to come back down, it makes sense, and they're ready to move forward either late spring, early summer, once we get all this all worked out and get final building permit issued. So again, no changes, zone general commercial, which is allowable use, and otherwise everything we talked about last time, so applies.
So this is the 3 buildings,
Correct.
no outside storage?
No outside.
My notification, you have to have meet ADA requirements on this, do you?
Yes, we do.
You do?
So,
Really?
yeah, so a certain, I don't remember a certain number of units, but a certain percentage of each size unit has to be ADA accessible. So, I can show you a updated site plan.
But you don't have to have ADA parking.
We do now.
Ask a stupid question.
Yeah. So this is slightly updated by what you saw. So what we have now
Oh, yeah, I
is
guess you
3
do.
handicap parking here.
Yeah, it is on here.
Okay. So that this stripe area is nothing more than an accessible route to get from here over to these units.
Yeah.
And then you have to have them in every building. So we added another handicap stall here, no ramps, it's all flush. And then just striping around the corner here for this first unit. So we have to have a certain percentage of each unit.
Oh, I didn't know
So that's
that.
what these are, and then this is all sized for fire trucks to get around. This is a fire pond that will have water in it perpetually for any firefighting. There's a dry hydrant located right here.
I never worked on a storage facility before, so I never knew they had to have ADA.
I've done a lot of these. Portage County is the only place that.
Really?
Yes, I've done a dozen of these projects around North Carolina. Portage County is the only place.
Okay. There's something new every day.
Yep, that was neat.
And again, this is only for 3 buildings. Once this project moves forward, hopefully, it's a successful project, it would be coming back to you for additional buildings, correct? Rather than showing you something, what the next building would look like, we don't know exactly what sizes people are gonna want, so we just kept it at the original request, and then we'll come back.
So you own this, they own this entire area then?
Correct.
I think if I'm not mistaken also, that Joe has the option of putting some other things back there besides, when we talked about RJ's.
Yeah, we talked about some other options. Eventually the water line probably needs to get extended down the road, opens up that remaining property for some other uses. So I think a lot of that's gonna flush out this year, but what we're here tonight is for these 3 buildings for storage uses.
So any additional storage though will again be buildings and not outside storage? Or
Any change to this plan, we'd be coming back anyway.
coming back.
I can't tell you what that would be.
Right. I mean, not that in this area, but, it can become unsightly if you have a lot of outdoor storage, campers, boats.
Yeah, I've known this developer for 5+ years. He's not the kind of guy that wants to do outdoor storage.
Okay.
He owns several things around the community.
Yeah. He owns a clock tower
The
building.
clock tower building is one.
Okay.
You'll be back for the bigger sign, right?
I don't know what we're gonna do for signage yet, because so
Trust me,
much of
you'll
it
be
is
back.
done, so much of it is internet marketing now, and that kind of.
Just trust me, you'll be back.
Well, I'm not a sign guy, so I won't. You can tell him no.
They all come back.
But right on the interstate like that, I think it's a good location for that, for self-storage. You're not gonna do, it's not a good retail area on that road there, so it just seems like a good fit.
You good with the changes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, we approved it.
I just put the changes, make sure the changes.
No dumpsters, so don't worry about any sort of trash or anything like that.
Stuff with it.
So we're just granting the variance again? No,
This
no.
is much.
Conditional use.
Conditional use.
This is much needed in Brimfield, I can tell you that. This is a hot topic, because the
As I said,
apartments are growing.
The apartments are.
Oh, yeah.
People need space.
Ryan needs someplace to store all their signs.
Well, as I said, they never built those ones down behind the Walmart, did they? Weren't there gonna be storage units?
This is
down
it?
Behind the Walmart?
Yes.
Oh, that's this one, okay.
Yeah.
This is right behind Walmart.
This
Got
is the reapproval, yep.
So the other one that's coming over by the gas station?
By the gas station behind Marathon on 43.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even, we haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard anything. Once it's been approved, we haven't heard a thing.
Got it.
For storage units.
But that's climate control.
Behind Speedway.
No, the Marathon on 43. Other side.
Where the Holiday Inn used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing,
I was gonna say, I knew 2 of them were approved, but
They're big too. They're big units. They're all air conditioned.
right.
But like I said, I don't know if that's going to be a go. So.
Okay.
anyway.
All right. Do we have any other questions or concerns?
Nope.
And we've already discussed lighting and so forth originally.
Yeah.
So we're looking for everything that was original except these changes.
Exactly.
Okay.
I guess just to touch on lighting, since you brought it up, we'll, do LED wall packs on the building, just down lighting, just not for security purposes.
Walls aren't gonna be white, right?
Red flashing light.
Well, that's what,
Yeah.
that's what they did in my backyard,
Oh, really?
across the street
Yeah,
at Rubbermaid.
yeah,
They said, oh yeah, all the lights will face the building and the ground, and then they painted the walls white.
yeah.
Oh, you're down on, what's that street off of Howard Road? I was at some of those meetings. You tell me.
I'm on Estes actually, but yeah, so, all right.
Yeah, I make a motion that we grant the conditional use permit as stated in the submitted plans.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to re-grant the conditional permit based on the original plans and the updates presented tonight. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Skylar Lang.
Yes.
Tim Bradford,
Yes.
Sean Phillips,
Yes.
Clayton Poppins.
Yes.
Thank you. We're good to go.
Okay, let's get those things started.
All righty.
We're working on it long enough.
I nominate.
I think that I nominate all the officers that we had previously.
No. Ed's not here, he pays the price.
Oh, wait a minute, that's right. I nominate Ed for chairman.
I second that. Oh, wait, no, we can't keep throwing birds.
Is there anything for the good of the order? We'll open up nominations for chair.
Okay, now let's research. I think we ought to keep all the same officers.
So that would be a nomination for Bruce for chair.
And Scott.
And Ed for vice chair, or co-vice, whatever, Grand Poobah, I don't care.
Let's do chair first.
Okay,
Do we have a second?
yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
That was for Bruce for chair, correct?
Yes,
Okay, just make sure I have that right. Bruce Diffenberg,
I'll abstain.
Scott Elling,
Yes.
Vince Bardacco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
Okay, so for vice chair, whatever we call it. We have a nomination.
I'll nominate Ed.
Okay,
He's got to learn the hard way.
do we have a second? He's done it before.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a nomination and a second for
Unless
Ed.
Clayton wants to take
It's
it.
Clayton, well, he's still not,
I don't
he's,
think I can.
You're voting tonight. Yeah, you can.
I am voting tonight.
so, a roll call vote, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes,
Scott Elling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Sean Phillips.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
okay. Do we have anybody wish any changes to the way we run our business? Or do we like it the way it is? Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
We put a proposal in so that everybody gets some sort of either tablet, iPad, something, and we're working on going paperless.
Okay,
So we're working on it.
We're just using.
If
a
it gets
lot of paper.
approved, yeah, if our budget
Well,
gets
yeah,
approved. Yeah, and it just cleans it up for you. You guys have the township emails now. We like to get everything off your computers and onto ours.
Okay.
And then there's no issues coming down the road.
Is there a meeting next month?
I hope so. Oh, yes, yes, there is.
okay, anything, oh, and then I was, earlier, we were talking about the sign. Did they actually make a change to the, that old sign back by the, what is it, where the,
The aggregate place?
yeah, the aggregate sign?
I didn't see a sign there.
It used to be like
Yeah,
a,
there used to be a big,
I
the
am.
poles there,
Mhm,
but I didn't see a sign.
I didn't see it.
okay, I mean, the other guy mentioned it,
I didn't see it. Yeah.
so we don't, there's it there, okay. He was just trying to draw our attention away from his sign.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, he was trying to push that one through because, but it,
I mean, it makes sense across the street, keeping the same.
Okay. All right, our next meeting, 16th of next month?
It's already March.
before you know, it'll be Christmas again.
Yeah. Let's get to spring first.
Yeah, let's let the snow melt before we.
And we can start talking Christmas.
Hey,
I
good
know.
luck.
Gotta get through the flood tomorrow.
Just
Good
real
luck
quick,
with your change.
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, before you guys all leave, can I just get updated phone numbers and addresses for all of you? Because I'm gonna be updating the zoning resolution and we're gonna have them made, so.
You want phone
just-
number and address?
Yeah, just so I have an updated sheet.
And have we rescheduled our training session,
We're looking at March.
March?
He's giving us dates now. It might not be on the same date as the meeting. That's what we're having issues with. So
Yeah,
Okay.
is there a time?
we're trying to
if
make
it's-
it on the same, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
if
want to
it's
make it
not on a
conflict.
meeting day, what time, is 6 okay for you guys? Do you
No.
prefer,
7.
okay,
That's too early. I wouldn't be able to make it.
Seven's
Okay.
better, and I don't think I'll be here March 16th.
okay.
We could do it after a meeting as well, but I don't know. if
Depending
it's
on-
gonna- Yeah.
As
depending
long
on
as
what
it's not a
time.
meeting like
Yeah.
tonight, that would be fine.
Okay. So meeting time or later in general?
Yeah.
Okay,
About an hour, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's an
yeah.
hour.
Are there any bad, if they can't do it on the 16th, are there any bad evenings that you cannot do it? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, just was generally trying to
I
schedule
won't know
it.
that far in advance, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Okay. The lucrative pay that goes with this is supplemental to the
What?
real job I have.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't be surprised, but Brian Holmes was building all those houses back in
Yeah, they're gonna be custom coming out.
I heard,
Sugar maples, and then it's all,
I heard-
350,000. Huh?
The original builder on that, 'cause that was actually
It
a bad
happens,
meeting.
it happens with everyone. They all sell out the Ryan homes.
We
But
should-
I love it, those homes are going for 350.
yeah, the original, he's talking about the original developer. He sold it.
Yeah, I know.
He sold it to,
Like
yeah.
a year or two ago, so ours was, I think ours was on, one of our variances for our lot, it was on the same, might have been the same one.
That was a big meeting.
There were three, like I live over in Sugar Maple, there were 3 phases, 2 phases, 3 phases in Cranberry Creek, that got sold out. There was another phase in Sugar Maple, that got sold out, and Ryan Owens bought it all.
I mean, I don't know, so I can't explain, but yeah, it is crazy.
The reason they're doing is they sell fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
off road, 50,000 for those houses. Our lot next to me.
Pulte homes.
It's like some rollout.
They started out, they started advertising,
Years or something.
250 to 3.
Is there, have you ever heard anything like that?
No.
It's 350.
I'm good.
No, I mean, you
can.
could-
If it is an HOA rule, I can take care of that.
Yeah, if you're building a lot next to you, or you're buying a lot next to you and it's a buildable lot, you don't have to build on it.
Okay, I'll even know.
They're gonna put them out.
Yeah.
Because if they fail to solve this.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
I
you're,
just want to make sure that they never build a house next to me.
I watch it.
no, you never, yeah, you don't have to build on it.
And-
Then I did want to
Pay
put a
that
shed on
tax.
it.
Okay, we need,
Those houses would be.
It, well, if you're gonna put it, yeah, well,
That's what,
no, the easiest way is to combine.
It's just-
that's what I originally thought
we should
of when I was.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Our lot.
Just
I
call
make a
it-
motion. Excuse me real quick, we need to get our motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
He's asking.
I second it.
Is
We
it
have
a
a
plan?
motion and a second to adjourn.
Aye.
Roll call vote.
Bruce Whitberg,
Yes.
Yes. Vince Bernacco,
Yes.
Sean Phillips,
Yes.
Ken Pop.
We'd have to go through a replay.
Thank you very much.
I can have it.
Thank you.
You could do it, it's just.
If I wanted